Hello everybody and welcome to the shop. I'm turning pins for the craft show, and I promised that when I did a pin that was unique, I would go ahead and share the video. What I have here, and let me flip around and show it to you. This is a blank that was made and sent to me by Jon Chapman. Now, I do not know what the material is. I'm sure Jon told me in one of our communications back and forth, but truthfully I cannot remember. So Jon, if you happen to watch this video, if you wouldn't mind, down in the comments, leave a little information about this blank, what you made it out of, how you made it, because I'm sure there are a lot of people who would like to know. I'm going to turn this blank into a modified slimline pen. Jon actually sent me two of these, and I'm going to turn the other blank into a modified slimline mechanical pencil. So I'll have a nice pen and pencil set. This blank turned very nicely. I had one problem. It was my fault. I skipped a tool on the end of the blank, and I wanted it to be a little fatter down here and then to angle off for the cap. I wasn't able to do that because I took a chunk out of it, but there was enough meat left. You can't tell that that happened. It looks great. I'm a little fat right here. I'm going to fire it back up, and I'm going to clean it up right next to the bushing, and then we're going to break out the micro mesh and sand this thing down, and I think it's going to look amazing. Very nice. I've got a great fit now with the end of the blank to the bushing, so I'm going to have a great fit with the nib of my pen. The blank feels really nice. As you have a long blank like this and you run your fingers along it, sometimes you can feel like how it's kind of bumpy. This one feels pretty smooth. There's one little tiny bump right there, and that's it. I think I can take that out with the micro mesh, so let's get started. Since my micro mesh pads are older, they don't quite have the grit on them that they should, so I'm going to use a little 400 grit sandpaper to start with, and I'm dipping it in water, and then we'll just use that to sort of wet sand the blank. This will be my first pass, and then I'll come back with the micro mesh pads. You can see a bunch of little tiny fine scratches, but the micro mesh should polish that right out. With acrylic, you can see I'm kind of working up a little white sort of a slurry there. I like to work the slurry up. See, and then we can rinse it off, and we'll flip the micro mesh pad over and come to the next pad. And once again, I'll build up a little bit of a slurry. I don't do this with my wood blanks because the CA glue is rather thin, and I just sand enough to clean the CA up, but you can see the white slurry on there from the pad. Let me rinse it off, and we'll run through the last two. I'm finished with the micro mesh, and I'm just letting it air dry, and what I'm doing is looking for scratches. I'll just be using my Hut Ultra Gloss polish on this blank. I probably will polish it up the first time here really thoroughly, and then I'll come back and put a second coat of polish on it. With a modified slimline pen, there's one piece we don't need, and that is the chrome trim ring. What we'll do is we'll start off by shaking the tube out of the front. We'll take our nib and we'll get that inserted into the tube. Let's go ahead and expand our pen press. And now we're going to insert the transmission into the back part of the tube. And we have to be very careful doing this because it's very easy for us to bend this thing out of shape, and we don't want to do that. Okay, let's do a quick test and we'll make sure. Okay, our pen does not extend far enough out of the nib, so we're going to go ahead and bump it again. I feel like we're going to be pretty close there. That's perfect. Now let's go ahead and actually slide this into the pen. You can see how it works. You turn the nib to retract and eject the ink. What I want to do now is press the cap and the clip onto the back of this. We're going to have to adjust our pen press out again. Sorry about reaching in front of the camera there, but need to tighten that up just a little bit. I don't have enough. There we go. I couldn't get enough pressure to press the cap all the way in. All right. And there we are. I think that turned out really nice. Thank you, Jon Chapman. I really appreciate you sending me these blanks. And shortly, I'll do a second video where I'll show the turning of the modified mechanical pencil to match this blank. We're going to end up with a really nice set. Thank you for watching this video on turning a modified slimline pen out of a custom blank. Once again, I'm not really sure what the material is, but it cut, drilled, and turned like a dream. Thank you, Jon Chapman, and thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I want you to know that you are always welcome in my shop. Come back and see me again real soon. Have a great evening, everybody.